If I had a problem, I'd be starving. I'd be hawking this watch. I do not have a problem. I enjoy gambling.
Yeah, well, not quite. Yeah, let's stick to football.
We are back, baby! Am I live? Hey, these are family matters right here.
Hey, is that a regulation size football or what?
Hey, I think that's a first down in my book. Am I live? Are we good? Are we live here? No, your people, my people. Hey, I'm glad they worked it out. We're here now, so let's fucking go. Hey, I'm pumped. You guys are doing a hell of a job here at the Round Robin Pod.
Some sort of like welcome to the pod.
Hey, there it is.
No. You gotta do something.
Yeah, we need an intro, dude. Fucking welcome to the pod.
We got a lot to get to. Dude, I stole these from Jack. These are the
How's
pod
Mexico?
These are the pod goggles. Dude, this place is pretty fire. Yeah, we're having a good time.
Surfing every morning?
Yeah, we surf both mornings, and this is a good crew. And Jack's amazing. Just like, the whole thing's
Awesome.
Yeah, the whole thing's rad.
So you got your mind all fresh, clear.
Oh yeah,
you got 5 locks.
I'm like locked in. So
yeah.
Okay, so
what's a better environment for picking 5 winners than just being out in the ocean surfing with sea turtles?
Well, yeah, every time I like caught a wave, I would get down the line and I was like, ooh, you know what? Trust your instincts. The Detroit Lions laying 3.5. Hey,
exactly.
So we got a lot to do in week 4, bets against the spread. So round robin pod.
There we go.
Okay, so you're dropping the Cardinals.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite plays.
I know.
Okay.
I think it's a great spot to fade the Commanders coming off that win, and we both have liked the Cardinals. I picked the Commanders from the beginning of the year, and I really think they're actually really good. I think they're gonna.
Okay.
I just don't want to fade them.
So you just don't want to fade them. Okay,
I think it is a good spot. I'm just not sure yet that they aren't that Jaden Daniels isn't like CJ Stroud 2.0.
Okay, so
he's just playing so well, and so I don't know. The vibes are so good there.
I hear you.
Not fading them.
I hear you. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna lay out a couple trends so far for the year involving how the games have gone against the spread, some total stuff, and then I'm gonna give you my 5 because it kind of all weaves together. So you and I have talked a lot about like the scoring's way down. Actually, everybody's been talking about the scoring's way down. So when is the scoring gonna correct? We want to get out in front of that, but it's not yet, in my opinion. So I'm using so dogs of more than 5 points are 14-2. Giants pushed. So 14-2-1. If it was 5.5 and you had Giants, so 15-2 against the spread. Dogs of less than 5 are 11-19-1. And so to me, that just means that the market, there's like a weird gap in the market where like the 6-point dogs should actually be like 3.5 to 4, and then the 2.5 to 3.5 point dogs should actually be like 6. So I'm gonna stay on that for at least this week, and I'm playing only dogs of 6 or more and favorites of 3.5 or less. And then what you and I talked about like early in the week, looking ahead for this week, is like double like cross narrative fades. So my first pick is Jaguars +6. They just got embarrassed. Like their stock could not be any lower. Like they're like literally a penny stock in the NFL market. So I'm just buying Jags +6 at Houston. Houston just got blown out by Minnesota. And so I'm fading Minnesota and I'm taking Green Bay -2.5 at home. Then the Bills just blew out the Jaguars, and like everyone has them first in everyone's power rankings. So I'm taking the Ravens -2.5 in Baltimore. Um, the Redskins, Commanders, just absolutely like like people are now, like you just said, like there's everything I see is like, oh, by the way, Jaden Daniels is the next coming of Jesus Christ. So I'm fading them and playing the Cardinals -3.5. And then I like got stuck on this last pick a lot. I considered the Steelers. But I think might be a really weird letdown spot for them. So I'm passing on the Steelers. I considered the Panthers +4.5. I think they rallied around Dalton, and I really think the Bengals are like their season's over. I think there's a chance the Bengals lose that game, but I think it's a stay away. I considered the Broncos, but the Broncos line moved away from me, and now the market said actually that line's 8, so I'm passing on 7.5, and I landed on like, hey, just keep in the same line of fade the teams that are hot and play the teams that have value. And I think the Lions are just slightly undervalued, laying 3.5 at home. They cover really well at home with Goff in the dome. The Seahawks don't play that well on the road. Their Seahawks are another team that's really overvalued, in my opinion, right now. So that's how I weaved through my 5, and I made sure to play a dog of 6, so a dog of 5.5 or more, and then all of the other games are less than 3.5 or less point favorites. So those are my 5 for tomorrow. Ravens,
Yeah, I actually
Lions, Cardinals, Packers, Jaguars.
I consider taking all of those games. I think all of those I think I love the way you put it. I think that's a really nice way to weave it. They all are kind of intertwined, except that last one. Those first 4 make all the sense in the world
they're
to
like
me.
almost slightly correlated. Like I'm
Yeah.
like kind of want to parlay all 4 of them together.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like taking the 2 games that I felt are just kind of the hardest bets to make. Well, as I looked through the schedule, the hardest bets to make were all the ones I wanted to take. The Ravens were on there. Like that's a really hard bet to make right now.
Yeah.
But everyone's on the Bills. It's the right bet to make. We know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Packers are another one. Just the Vikings look so good. Everyone's going to be betting the Packers, though. It's clearly the right bet to make.
Yep.
That one's a lot easier to me actually than the Ravens, just because they're at home. They're in Lambeau.
Yeah.
Jordan Love hopefully is going to play. So that's kind of how I structured I want to ask you about the Bears and the Rams and where you ended up on that one, because that was another game we both liked on Monday. We both really liked the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
It was -1. Now the Bears are -3. And to me, everyone is betting the Bears.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of last week's Titans spot, where like the sharp side was the Titans, like theoretically. The sharp side in this game is probably the Bears, like theoretically, but they suck. And I don't know. I told you earlier this week, my expectation for them is to come up with something that looks way different to make life easier for Caleb Williams, and the Rams are just decimated by injuries. So to me, it's just like there's too many unknowns. I don't really like either side in that game. I would lean Rams at 3, and I would lean Bears at 2.5. So to me, that's like I don't really want a side in that game.
That's almost exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
I think everything says to bet the Bears, but then when you just look at Eberflus and Caleb Williams going against Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, it just creeps me out. And I just am like, I can't do it. They're so much better.
Eberflus is a disaster.
I know the McVay and Stafford are just so much better that I couldn't do it. So I ended up with, there's 2 quarterbacks who I've been so down on and I've everything so far I feel like I've been right about, despite the Eagles being 2-1. Hurts has just looked not good at all. And I really like the Buccaneers defense. I like Todd Bowles going against Jalen Hurts. Lane Johnson might be out. Hopefully he ends up not playing. And then Devontae Smith's out. A.J. Brown is questionable, but he has a hamstring. He might be limited even if he plays. And I just think I was not a buyer of the Saints, and I just never have trusted their offense from the start, even regardless of the points they put up. And I really like the Bucs offense compared to the Saints last week. I think the Bucs are going to put up a lot of points, and I think we're going to see a similar performance from the Eagles, where they're going to struggle. Especially, I mean, Saquon has been their saving grace. Without Saquon Barkley this year, they would probably be 0-3. So I think the Bucs are going to put up enough points. I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to hang. So I'm going with Tampa Bay at home, Todd Bowles against Jalen Hurts. And then the other quarterback I've been so down on has been Anthony Richardson. And I think I don't know how long he's going to last in the NFL, honestly. I think he's that bad. And so we're going to see. We're going to see. But he looks so bad throwing the ball. And I think the Steelers' defense is probably, to me, they're the best in the NFL. And
yeah, definitely.
They force so many turnovers, them and the Packers so far. I think Anthony Richardson's really, really going to struggle in this game. They're going to run the ball a lot with Jonathan Taylor. But I really have bought into the Steelers with Justin Fields. Not so much on Justin Fields, but just the way they're managing him and being conservative, running the ball, throwing the short passes, then every once in a while taking a shot with him when it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think just Tomlin has done such a good job so far that the trends historically have been to bet against him in these spots. But I think they're so good that laying less than a field goal in this spot is actually the right play. So I'm taking the Steelers. So I'm fading. My first two picks are fading Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson.
Okay.
And then,
yeah, just really quick, I'll say I was tempted to take the Steelers, but I think it's possible it's a weird letdown spot for them just because they started 3-0 and they're going on the road for the third time in 4 games. But to me, if the Steelers are a Super Bowl contender, which I'm flirting with considering they are, then they kind of just probably roll. Like they probably just like they may shut the Colts out and like make Richardson look really bad. I don't agree that he's that bad. He's such a physical freak. I think he's gonna have a really long career. Like he'll be around just because he can run and do whatever. But I'm interested in that game a lot. So we'll see. Well, yeah. I could see them.
My thought with that is he reminds me a good amount of Cam Newton, but Cam could actually throw the ball, especially early in his career.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't develop that, he's just going to take too many hits. He's going to take too many shots, and one of them is gonna kind of put him out of commission.
Yeah.
And I think
so you got the Buccaneers and the Steelers both in those like kind of close to the pick'em spot. So what? And then who else?
Yep. And so then my next 3, they're kind of I'm buying low and selling high. So I'm taking the Bengals.
Crossfade. Okay.
I'm sticking with the Bengals. I really like actually what I've seen from Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like last week, he was the second quarterback to throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
There's some really good stats on 0-3 teams too. Like they absolutely like there's some very good against the spread trends on teams that are 0-3. They absolutely have to win this game.
He looks really good to me, and the defense of the Bengals has just been getting blasted on.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look, everyone's talking about how bad they are.
Yeah.
And now they know, like you talked about how bad of a spot it was last week for the Raiders getting Andy Dalton and how kind of up the Panthers were for that game. It was just a perfect storm for them. The Raiders didn't seem to prepare for Andy Dalton at all. And the Bengals have known this whole week, okay, we're getting Andy Dalton. They're going to prepare as they should. Like it's a normal week. And I think it's just if there's ever a time to sell high on the Panthers, it's right now. After that
Yeah.
big win, the blowout win, Andy Dalton played a perfect game essentially. So I'm buying low on the Bengals. I still think we've seen the Bengals have actually done this every single year with Joe Burrow. It's just they start slow and then they catch fire. And I don't see why until I see them actually not catch fire one of these years, I'm going to assume that they're going to. So I still am riding the Bengals. They still have a incredible wide receiver core. So Bengals minus 4.5. Then I was very close to taking the Cardinals. I passed on the Cardinals. I am going to take the Chargers.
Yeah.
This to me is just a game. We've talked about it all year long. And it's all the games we've discussed have come down to exactly how we've said they would go, with Mahomes covering all the spreads of 3 and less. And like against the Bengals, they were minus 5.5. They typically don't cover those games.
Yeah,
we're getting Chargers plus
the
7.
trends are. I mean, you're getting 7 points. Their teams getting 7 are just covering every single time. So yeah,
yep.
I thought about just blindly playing this week. Chargers, Patriots, Jaguars, Broncos. I just thought about just playing all of the dogs of 6 or more.
Yeah, I mean, until the trend changes, it doesn't seem like a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
So so I'm taking the Chargers, big divisional game.
Harbaugh's first game against the
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's some really cool motivation stuff. I'm still so hot, like weird about the Chiefs that I couldn't get there on that game. And that I just can't live with myself if the Chiefs get way up for that game and Herbert doesn't play and then they win by like 25. But I really like that you had the balls to take this, because it should just be like the Chargers are going to run the ball every play. Like it should just be like a ton. It should be like a 13-9 game. It really should.
The other thing is I think Herbert's going to play, but even if he doesn't, I don't hate Taylor Heineke. Like he can throw the ball downfield. They're going to be running the ball. So
well, plus him not playing is built into this line anyway.
Yeah. He's mobile.
If he was 100% healthy, this line would be 4.5. So him not playing is already built into this. So it's really not an issue.
Yeah.
And if he does play, it's even better for the under and like a lower scoring game, because they're not going to let him get hit a bunch and hurt that ankle again. Yeah.
Right. And it's just a home divisional dog, and it's 7 points. It's
Harbaugh's first game against Andy Reid and the Chiefs.
Too good to pass, too many points to pass. And then for my last game, I ended up also taking the Packers at Lambeau, laying 2.5 against the Vikings.
Is that our only overlapper now?
Yeah, we have a lot. All the ones that you took, I considered.
Yeah.
They're on the same side of all of those.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were tinkering.
The only one you took that I did not consider is Tampa. Yeah, I lean Eagles in that game, but I'm not. It's a full stay away. All right, so let's just call. Let's talk. I got some stats for the Packers too.
Yeah, the Packers are. This was kind of the first week that everybody is on board with the Vikings. The entire public.
Yeah.
I've got friends who texted me how good Sam Darnold is, how good the Vikings are. So did you. You said one of your friends texted you the Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It just feels like peak Vikings hype right now. And somehow the Packers are still a little bit under the radar.
Yeah, here's the thing. Whatever the Vikings have done that's been so impressive, it's more impressive what the Packers have done. They went 2-0 with Malik Willis, a guy that was like basically out of the league. Now they're at home against you know what the line was in this game over the summer? Because they do the whole
the look ahead.
The look ahead for the whole season.
It was probably Packers minus 4.5.
3 weeks ago, Packers minus 6.5.
Yeah. Wow.
2.5 crazy. And so,
Yeah.
and then the other thing too is like, all right, you want to watch the Texans game and be like, well, the Vikings dominated the Texans. Well, the Texans O-line sucks. And like they're actually not near the Packers are better than the Texans. It's one of the reasons I'm also playing the Jaguars this week is that I think the Packers are correlated to the Jags, which is like another like the Texans were made to look bad in Minnesota because they're not as good as Green Bay. So I'm get this love. We'll just call this. This is my favorite play. Love's gonna play. And Green Bay is like they run the football. This is the and it's the line's 3 now. So yeah,
They
look at
also
us.
turn
Packers minus 2.5.
their opponents over. Packers have, I think, 7 interceptions already.
Their
And
defense is really good.
Sam Darnold definitely in his career has thrown a lot of interceptions.
Yeah, dude, what are we
So,
talking about? Darnold, yeah, what? Oh, Darnold's just fucking the MVP of the league all of a sudden. Get out of here.
yeah, perfect
Let's go.
time to fade. Fade the Vikings.
Cheeseheads, baby. All right,
There we go.
I'm going to breakfast.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll call you later.